Welcome. We are not in the workshop today. We are in my new laser room. So in the last video I made in the Starting a Laser Engraving Business series of videos, I mentioned I took on a second laser to do a review on, and that laser is the Neje Max 4. And this laser has some very different features to the current X-Tool laser I've been using. So let's get on with the video and take a look at it. Okay, so full disclosure, Neje have sent me out this laser engraver for a review video. They haven't asked to see the video before it gets published, and I can give my full unbiased opinion of the laser. So thank you very much, Neje, for sending this out. Constructed from aluminium extrusion, this laser is extremely light, and even though it has a much larger working area of 750mm by 450mm, once bolted together, it is incredibly stable. So another feature the Neje Max 4 comes with is his pen attachment. This is my first time using it. I thought I'd go ahead and do some architectural drawing. I'm quite surprised by the quality of this drawing. However, the pen does drag across moving from point to point, so that's probably something I could dial out in the software. But then that got me thinking, what if you're really struggling to get that someone a signed photo of their favourite artist? Like this, Miley Cyrus. You could use this to make yourself quite a nice cheap present to give to someone. And another nice feature I've noticed whilst using this laser is that all the cables and the air assist pipe are housed inside this drop link cable cover, which helps to reduce the fatigue of the parts. It also helps keep everything together nice and neat and stops all the cables from tangling together on the laser frame. Now, because of its low profile, it only stands at 29mm tall. I have actually fitted mine to a piece of 18mm MDF. There's no need to do that. I've just done it so it keeps everything together. So I guess the main feature of this laser engraver is it has a movable Z-axis. So what would you need a movable Z-axis for? Well, this is handy because if you're working on things that are different heights, rather than having to keep setting the laser up to focus on a different height of material you're engraving, you can do this all in one go just by adjusting the Z-axis when you make your pass. So all I wanted to do here was to engrave the thicknesses of the wood on top of them. So I used here a 25mm thick piece of poplar and a 14mm piece of MDF. The engravings on both come out absolutely perfect. So let's just take a minute to talk about the E80 laser module that Neje have redesigned. So the new layout of this laser module allows for precise control of the laser beam, ensuring that it is evenly distributed and focused on the desired areas. This improves the efficiency of the system as less power is wasted on unnecessary areas. Additionally, the focus size of the laser beam is optimized to be as small as possible, allowing for intricate and detailed engraving. So scrolling through the Neje website here, you can see that this laser module, they say, will have a life of up to 20,000 hours, and that's pretty good. The machine also comes with a 2-year warranty, which I think is better than the competition. But interestingly, it says right here, it can cut a piece of 17mm pine in 2.5 passes. So with all that said, I don't actually have a 17mm thick piece of pine. What I do have though is a bit of dowel, and this one's 21mm thick. Let's give it a whirl. So to cut through this pine dowel, I've set the laser to move at 100mm per second, and I've also set the power on 100%. I've set it up to do 5 passes, and after each pass the module will creep down 1mm to try and make sure we can cut through this piece of dowel. Okay, so if we take a look at this piece of dowel, it almost seems like it's cut all the way through, apart from this little bit here you can see it's still joined on, but if I try and break it apart, it comes away quite cleanly. The cuts are quite charred, and this is something I wouldn't probably try and cut on a laser. Okay, so let's be honest, people aren't that interested in what it says it can actually cut through. People are more interested in the complete destruction of pieces of material. So I have here a 25mm thick piece of hardwood maple. So let's do exactly the same settings and see what it can do on this. The first attempt I made to cut through it probably only went a third of the way through. And I did make the laser module step down 1mm after each pass. So I attempted a second cut on this piece of maple. This time, still using the same settings, I decided to make the laser module drop down 1.5 millimeters between the passes. And it was slightly better. It did go halfway through. However, I still think that this piece of hardwood is probably a little bit too much for this laser. Okay, and I didn't just stop there. I thought I would try it out on a piece of MDF. And as you can see here, it only cut about halfway through, and I had to snap it in half to break the thing apart. I used exactly the same settings for the pine, dowel, and the piece of maple. Right, so far with this laser, we've only used it on wood. We've engraved some wood, we've cut through some wood, and we've attempted to cut through some wood. So next up, we're going to try some engraving on a slate coaster. And then after the slate coaster, I've been out and I've bought some of these metal business cards, and we'll try an engraving on that. Right, let's get on with it. So on the website Laserpix, I found this image that I wanted to engrave onto the slate coaster, and here it shows you the original, the prepared file, and what it would look like engraved. So all I have to do is just download the prepared file and upload it into Lightburn. So this is how the slate coaster come out. I'm quite happy with it. You can see quite a lot of detail in it. If anything, I might have just turned the laser power down a little bit next time I attempted something like this. Okay, so next up we're going to engrave a metal business card. I do apologise for the filming angle here. I filmed it on my phone so I could make a shorts video for it. So again, I got this free picture from Laserpix, where the settings to enable me to engrave the photo are preset. Also, I've never engraved on a metal business card before, so I'm interested myself to see how it turns out. What a great picture. I am really happy with this. This is something I'm going to experiment more with in the future. The level of detail that you can put on these business cards is fantastic. Okay, still me, not Michael Caine. So let's give it a go on this old leather phone case I have. Never engraved on leather, so hopefully I'll get the settings right for this. So it seems to me in the laser engraving community that engraving on leather is quite a popular thing. People make a lot of hat patches for it. This is the first time again for me engraving on leather. So this is the final results. Extra kudos points if you can comment below what quote this film is from. Now I want to do a deep engraving, so I downloaded this deep engraving image of a lion, put it into Lightburn and set my settings up accordingly. And for the deep engraving, I have this 48mm thick piece of pine. So I'm reasonably happy with how this deep engraving has turned out. I could have maybe gone a little bit higher on the power for the deep engraving, which would have made it a little bit darker, and the contrast between the background and the light engraving would have probably stood out a little bit more. Right, for the grand finale. So I've been on Etsy and I have purchased myself some layered art. that video. Now, I have had this laser a good few months and this is a bit of a delayed review, but I've really enjoyed using this laser. There's definitely some really good features on it. Who is this laser aimed at? But I don't think it's quite aimed at the entry-level beginner user, because there's definitely things that you need to know a little bit about laser engraving to be able to use this. I really like the feature of the movable Z-axis on the laser module. If you were to engrave something like a knife, then you've got the facility to be able to engrave the blade and the handle at the same time. And bearing in mind it's a 20-watt module, it's probably the most powerful 20-watt module I have used. As I mentioned at the start of the video, it is extremely lightweight, so my intention is to predominantly, because of the size of this, use this as a workshop machine, and I'll hang this up on the wall because it is that light to hang up on the wall. Now, as I said earlier on in the video, this is a completely honest review of this machine, and when I got it, I did have a little trouble with some hardware on the machine. I contacted Neje, and within a week, new part turned up, installed it, not a problem. So overall, my experience of this machine has been really good. There are a few negative things, like for instance, when assembling the machine, this is the manual that they provide you with. It's 8-10 pages. It is extremely basic compared to some of its rivals. And also the software that Neje provides you with, the free software for using this machine, yeah, it's limited and basic. I'll leave it at that. Definitely other software out there that is provided by their rivals that will allow you to do a lot more. And in the instance of the X-Tool machine I've got, their software, I could use their machine all day long without having to download Lightburn. So I had to buy Lightburn to use this machine, which is fine because I would have bought it somewhere down the road. I'm just informing you of that you'll probably definitely want to buy Lightburn to use this machine. Anyway, there we go. There's a review of this machine. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.